After almost a month traveling around Japan, can't resist doing a top 10 list video where I talk about 10 things that I love about Japan. I'm also going to do a video, 10 things that I hate about Japan, so stay tuned for that one. But I want to start, there's many more things that I love about Japan than hate, and very positive on this country. So I want to start with the 10 things I love. So, going to count down. First of all, number 10, quiet. The Japanese are so good about being quiet, I swear. I mean, yesterday here in Kamakouchi, we were on a pretty busy hiking trail, but it didn't seem that bad because people are not talking very, very loudly. If you're at a busy like national park in the US or a place like that where there's lots of people, you know, hiking in a small area, just people's loud conversations drive you nuts, especially on public transportation here, trains and buses and such like that. People are very good about being quiet and respectful and not, you know, making phone calls, you know, loudly. They've even got on some of the trains a special room that you go into where it says that this is a room for you know, for phone conversations. So if you want to talk on the phone, go in this tiny little cubicle and shut the damn door, you moron. So I love the sense of quiet here in Japan, and yeah, you can just sort of relax and you're not listening to some idiot's inane conversation all the time. Number 9. Bottles of water, cheap bottles of water. In the States these days, the price of bottled water is getting completely insane. You go to a convenience store or a gas station anywhere in the US, and a cold bottle of water is going to set you back $2.29, $1.99 if you're lucky. It might even be $2.79 depending on how big it is and if it's a fancy brand or whatever. Sometimes even at the supermarket they charge you that much if you want a cold bottle of water, a small one. Of course you can get a huge bottle of water that's warm for a lot cheaper at the supermarket. But here in Japan, anywhere in the damn country you can get a bottle of cold water for less than $1. I mean, even at like a train station or a place like that. I mean, a train station in the US or like an airport, easily $3 for a bottle of water. Not here. Cold bottles of water all across the country for typically like 130 yen, which is like 80 cents. You cannot beat that. Number 8, free iced tea at restaurants. Now, this is not everywhere, but I would say maybe 30 or 40% of the restaurants we've been to so far offer free unlimited iced tea. Oh, and it's you know, it's unsweet too, which is what I drink. Sorry if you're a sweet tea fan, they don't do that here, but you can always throw sugar in it. I mean, imagine that. I mean, they're almost disincentivizing you from ordering beverages that cost money in the restaurant. You're offering me free iced tea. I don't need to pay for a drink. No way is any restaurant in the United States going to do that. In fact, is there a restaurant anywhere in America, or for that matter, Europe or South America, that offers free iced tea? If there is, I have never been to it, but I've been to easily 10 or 15 restaurants here in Japan that have free unlimited iced tea. What an absolutely revolutionary idea. I mean, it's not good for their bottom line, but I love it, that's for sure. Number 7, when you ask people for directions in Japan, very often they don't just point you, oh, like go over there. They'll say, come with me, and they will walk you to the place. We have had this happen so many times here in Japan, and I absolutely love it. It's such a nice culture of hospitality. People will say, follow me, and they'll take you there. Even you're in a busy train station. I was in like Shinjuku train station once that this happened. A Shinjuku train station, biggest one in the world. These people probably walk 15 minutes out of their way. Also, I was in the Shibuya Scramble one time too, busiest intersection of Tokyo, and these 2 young girls were like, oh, come with us. They walked me like 15 minutes. They walked me right to my train platform. Another time we were in a busy food court somewhere, and I asked, hey, where can I get, I forgot what type of food I was looking for. The woman said, this food court, it would have taken me an hour to find the type of food I was looking for. The woman, and she was working at one of the stands, so she left her stand and walked me 5 minutes to the other end of this busy food court to show me exactly where I could get that food. I love that. And all the waiters and waitresses here are gonna give me a downvote on this, and hopefully not unsubscribe, but don't hate me for this, guys, but no tipping. Oh my God, do I love that here in Japan. I mean, as a family, you know, traveling as a family of 4, it's expensive to travel anywhere as a family of 4. You're saving 20% right off the bat with this no tipping culture. Not only, you know, if you tip here, it's actually considered an insult. So you look at the restaurant prices here, and that's exactly what you pay. They've already included the tax in it, and there's no tipping, saving 20% right off the bat. Number 5, Japanese baseball. Got to go to a Japanese baseball game if you're here. I know what you're thinking. Maybe some people don't like baseball. If you're like, we're going to baseball games in the US or wherever, and they were boring. Baseball is not boring here, believe me. You go to a game here, the fans are very organized. They cheer in unison. They have songs they sing. There's all kinds of quirky little things going on. They don't charge you a crazy amount of money. At least, you know, where I went to a Hanshin Tigers game. You can bring your own water and snacks to the game. I repeat, you can bring your own bottles of water and food to the game if you want to. But inside, they're charging you basically regular prices for stuff. It's not like America where a beer is $12. A beer inside the stadium costs the same damn thing as it does at like a restaurant or somewhere. And terrific environment. You got to go to a Japanese baseball game while you're here. Super fun. Temples. Holy crap, have I visited a lot of temples here in Japan. At least 50, maybe somewhere towards 100. I love temples. Temples of all kinds. I mean, you've got the gigantic ones, you've got the super famous ones where there might be lots of tourists and there's, you know, it takes a half hour to tour it. And then you've got these tiny little ones, you've got neighborhood ones. There's temples everywhere, thousands of temples, all different types of temples. Don't just go to the famous one, folks, especially when you're in like Kyoto. Go to the much less famous ones. Look and see how many reviews it has on Google. If it has, you know, thousands of reviews, there's probably gonna be a lot of people there. You can find a lot more tranquility at the ones that have like hundreds of reviews or only dozens of reviews. And they're all worth seeing. There's so much history. You have this, often the smell of incense, the tranquility. Love the Japanese temples. Can't get enough. Japanese gardens. Almost every city has a beautiful Japanese garden. Sometimes more than one Japanese garden. Tokyo has 4 or 5 of them that are worth visiting. They're so perfectly landscaped and sculpted, so green, so pretty. There's always little fountains. There's often carp. Japanese gardens are the best in the world. I know English gardens are also really nice. Japanese gardens for me, though, #1 in the world. Love it. Number 2, I could just say Japanese food in general. The food is absolutely amazing here, but I want to drill down a little tighter. Something that we really don't have in the States, or if we do, maybe only in LA or a few places, conveyor belt sushi restaurants. Oh my God, I love conveyor belt sushi restaurants. Because sushi, if you want a good quality sushi in the US, it's gonna set you back, man. It is expensive. Here, you can go, the conveyor belt sushi places are very affordable. I mean, we went to a few where we ordered tons of stuff, and for the 4 of us spent like $40, like 10 bucks each, something like that. And the thing is, you can sample, you know, like the stuff is coming by, it's whizzing by you. You're like, boom, let me have a little of that, let me try a little of that, let me try that. And they have the touch screen ordering at your, so there's no communication barrier. You're looking at an English touch screen at your booth. You're like at an iPad choosing, let's try this, let's try that. I could have Japanese conveyor belt sushi every night and be completely satisfied. I especially really like kura. But I also like, there's another one, ooh, I'm forgetting the name of it. There's another one in Shibuya I like too. It begins with an O. I'll put it in the subtitles here, but gotta have conveyor belt sushi when you're in Japan. And #1, at least for me, in Japan is sumo. I'm a sports fan, I'm a sports lover. Sumo, though, is so unique. It's not just a sport, it is such a part of the culture. It's an ancient sport. Been going on for maybe not thousands of years, but well over 1,000 years in Japan. It is such a spectacle to see. We saw not only matches, but we were also able to arrange going to a stable, which is where the sumo wrestlers, the rishiki they're called, that's where they all live and train together. We got to go to a practice. If you Google sumo practice tour, you will find there's different companies that can bring you to that. The practice was amazing. I also love, we went to a retirement ceremony matches. And so when sumo retire, they grow their hair for their entire career. But when they retire, fans get to line up and cut one strand of their hair each. And there's also a lot of matches that go on. There's so much ceremony and pageantry, and it's so fascinating. And these guys are such physical spectacles. They're really amazing. And that when you're in Japan, you know, they've only had like 6 or 7 big tournaments a year. If you're in Japan at the time one of these big tournaments is going on at the National Arena in Tokyo, you've got to go to it. And again, if you're not here at that time of year, you can also try to attend a sumo practice. I cannot recommend that enough. So guys, if you enjoyed this top 10 list, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Tons of Japan content on here and more coming, and helps with the algorithms. Thank you so much, folks. Take care. Peace.